Sony PlayStation tonight. We so NY, my nigga, tonight. You feel what I'm saying? There we go. Let's transition into the New York Giants, my G-men. You know what I'm saying? With the 6th pick in the draft, the New York Giants select.
Yo, before you about to do a dope ass intro, but can we take a shot just for the draft though? Yeah. For who they drafted? Because bro, I think me and you, bro, predicted it, and me and you both agreed to it.
We predicted it, and we didn't hold on, and we didn't predict it like 2 weeks ago on some like we just did a little bit of bullshit research, and we said, oh, we predicted this shit months ago. This is a fact. We have receipts. Word. You can go back into the fucking archives when you get off here, and I'm not bragging. I'm trying to be humble, but we did predict it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we could boast
amongst other peoples. We're not the only one who predicted it. You know what I'm saying? Amongst
you
know what I'm saying? But
shout out to everybody doing this, man.
Shout out to everybody doing this. So shout out to the Giants, and with the 6th pick in the NFL 2024 NFL draft, the New York Giants select LSU wide receiver Malik Nabers. Salute, big move, and I'm gonna explain why in a second.
Salute,
yo. Now, I want to set this up properly. Listen, there's people. You know what? Let me play the clip. This is a clip off the the Tierney and Licata show, and they had Brandon Jacobs on there today. Shout out to Brandon Jacobs, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Brandon Jacobs,
you know what I'm saying?
Man,
That's my guy.
He was our refrigerator.
he was the juggernaut. I want to play this. Listen, I want to play this clip. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about it. Sal Licata, I'm gonna set this clip up. Sal Licata is basically, he doesn't like the pick. He thinks they should have either traded up to get a QB because he doesn't want Daniel Jones in there, or traded down. If they couldn't get the QB, they want traded down, or get an offensive lineman, or maybe have traded down to get more picks. I don't necessarily disagree, but I think the Giants, they say, yes, every team has a need, right? And you try to target the need that you have on your team specifically, right? Giants have a couple of needs, but if the player you most need is not on the board, what do you do, Q? You select the best talent, right?
Always.
Malik Nabers, and I'm gonna play the clip. Malik Nabers.
Whoa.
Hold on, let me get this thought out. Malik Nabers.
But you also select the best talent that will fit the team on the team.
No, but if you the rule is if you can't get your specific need, you go for the best talent on the board. That's a no-brainer, 100%. And then you figure it out later. You assemble the plan on the way down. But with Malik Nabers, not only and I truly believe this, not only, and I've said between him and Marvin Harrison Jr., but I give the edge to Malik Nabers. Not only is he the best wide receiver in that the whole draft, not the first round, the whole draft, and there's some really good receivers in this draft, but he's the best offensive player, in my opinion, in this draft. He's electric, he's dynamic. Let's hear this clip, and then I want you to respond, and I'll respond.
Curious to get your take on it, Brandon. I watched you, obviously, throughout your career, win, running the football, defense, smash mouth football, obviously Eli being clutch. You didn't need a top wide receiver with the Giants. We saw Odell Beckham Jr., top wide receiver. They didn't win squat after your guys, model left and moved on, right? I know the sport has evolved and changed. Do you believe in building a team by getting a top receiver? Me, I would have traded down if you didn't like the quarterback. I just don't believe in needing a star receiver. How do you view building a football team?
As a running back, right? So I want to take you back.
Yeah.
You don't need a top wide receiver to be able to make a team. Do you remember in 2008, we dominated everybody.
Right.
And a mistake happened with Plexico.
Yeah.
Once that happened with Plexico, our team did what?
Right. I know you went south. I know.
We went down.
Everything changed.
12-4, ended up losing to the Eagles that year.
It changed everything. You know why? Because we had our way of playing. We had our identity. Right, you got a 6'5" wide receiver on the outside that can outrun just about any DB out there. So he's going to take a little bit to handle, right? Yep. So while you're taking I think Plexico had that season. I think he had like 400, 500 yards receiving.
Really good blocker too. Really good blocker.
So he mattered to our offense a lot. You're going to sit there and double coverage and put him in double coverage,
right?
So me and the Maj is going to run down your throat.
But as far as level of importance, interior line play, quarterback, edge rusher, corners. Like, to me, I just don't. You could find wide receivers, and the fact that the Giants don't have a lot to begin with, I don't think they have a quarterback. Now, maybe your opinion is different. You like Daniel Jones. I just feel like it's building outside in, building backwards, where they needed so many other things as opposed to a wide. It's not about Nabers himself. He could be a stud for all I care. I mean,
I'm gonna give your floor is yours. Tell me your thoughts on that. On maybe Salicata thinking you shouldn't draft receiver position that high. You go for more, maybe not as sexy as a pick, but like an offensive lineman, or you try. If you can't trade him and get the QB you want, right? Because you're not just, in my opinion, you don't just trade him to get a QB. It has to be a guy you really like. They didn't see the guy they really liked. They grabbed Malik Nabers. What's your opinion on that?
I think the Giants are changing their culture. I think they did it when they drafted Saquon, and grabbing that stud, and that's not a bad thing. It's really not, because let's be honest. What does a quarterback do? Like, what does Daniel Jones really do? Like, what's their job? Their job is to throw the ball. If you can't throw the ball, and if you have nobody who can get open, who is the blame on? Are you going to blame the front office for drafting people who didn't fit the system? Or are you drafting, or are you blaming the quarterback because his wide receivers are not getting, or are you blaming the wide receivers because they can't get open? Facing the cornerbacks. I think they did a phenomenal job in doing this. I really do. I think they're putting some pep in the step. I think we need to put the foot on Daniel Jones' neck. And if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. What happens? We have two really good young running backs that will work with a new young quarterback in 2025. Like, if I'm mad about that, no, I'm really not. Like, I don't care about the running back by committee. Like, this is not that Giants team no more. People have to understand this is not that same organization that it was 15, 20 years ago. It's not. Like, as much as I love that how they were, but this is not. The game has changed. The same way that people are shooting 3-pointers and NBA now, like, fucking tremendously a lot. Well, you need people who can quickly catch a ball and make a touchdown and beat the brakes off of him. You need a quarterback. Granted, the only key point he had was that, we could have got a quarterback, and that made history. This is the first time in NFL history that 6 quarterbacks were drafted before the 12th pick ever. Like, that's crazy. Like, this NFL draft reminded me of, like, people who don't know how to draft and NFL fantasy football teams. When they just randomly put the stick up there, like, I want Rodgers, I want Mahomes, I want like, nah, man, no, but who are they throwing to? Like, you can have the Mahomes, but you still got to get open. Like, you have to always have that benefit where, hey, when you don't have a Mahomes, hey, but this dude got an arm, and Jalen Hyatt can get open. Malik Nabers can get open, and they could run routes and shake shit up. That's gonna be the difference. That's what we need. We need to be a deep threat team, because we're gonna have a decent offensive line. We're not gonna have a really crazy. Think about it. We lost Saquon Barkley. What else we're gonna do? We're gonna just sit down there and fucking get a quarterback, and then we're going to be sitting here again for like 10 years wondering who's going to be. Nah, we have a bunch of people that can make plays. We just need the person to make it. Holding that ball, saying hike, calling that play, making the decision, making the right decision. And if he's not the right one, which I don't think he is, I'm not mad. There's decisions out there. There's other people out there that are going to be free agents in 2025 that I feel like we can go and get.
There are 2 schools of thought essentially on how to draft, right? There's one school of thought where receivers and skill position players shouldn't be maybe drafted that high, top 10, top 7, top 12. People believe you traditionally want to get you a left tackle or offensive tackle or like a really good edge rusher, you know what I'm saying? And then or obviously a QB if you have one, or like a really, like I said, like a really good edge rusher. And I agree with that, but part of that philosophy is antiquated. And I think for the Giants specific situation, this was the right pick. Not only was it the sexy pick, it was the right pick. If you don't like a quarterback, you don't force it. The guys that were ahead, maybe you like Drake May, you couldn't do the deal with New England. So you don't just draft up to get another guy or pick another guy. You know what I'm saying? Like Penix was available. They didn't like Penix. You don't just get Penix. Our specific need was we lack playmakers. We lacked specifically playmakers at the wide receiver position. You know what I'm saying? Say what you want about Daniel Jones. This essentially becomes another reevaluation year for him. That's the only part I don't like. But drafting Malik Nabers, in my opinion, the right thing to do for this specific situation. The best receiver, the best offensive player on the board at that time is fitting our specific need. I agree. Could you have drafted down, maybe went and got another offensive tackle, and maybe got this? Like I said, is a deep draft in terms of where receivers are. Maybe you could have got no. You got to get Malik Nabers, bro. Absolutely need that. Now, in terms of the quarterback position,
and we got a safety. We got a safety today.
Oh yeah, but hold on.
Let's not forget that.
But in terms of Malik Nabers, no, excuse me. In terms of Daniel Jones, yeah, we're probably going to be moving off of him. But the only thing I don't like about that is don't turn this into another reevaluation year. Let's say he has a slightly better year. He throws 19 fucking touchdowns. 8 picks. He runs for 600 plus yards. Don't let that fool you, man. You know what I'm saying? He has a couple of weapons now, so he's not the guy. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have Jalen Hyatt taking the top off the defense, Malik Nabers, Hodgins, bunch of guys. You know what I'm saying that he could work with. You know what I'm saying? A healthy Darren Waller, right? We lose Saquon.
Well, if he even comes back, is he even coming back?
I believe. I'm pretty sure he's coming back. Let's say he comes back. You have some weapons you could deal with, but he's not the quarterback of the future. Please don't get that confused. I don't even think this is the play for this year. I think the Giants will be a mediocre, maybe less than mediocre team, and I think they have a chance to be right back in the draft next year and maybe go and get the guy. And if you can't go get that guy, right? If you don't find yourself high enough in the draft to get that guy again, pull the checkbook out. Go snatch you a fucking
spend some money.
Spend some money. Go get you a Dak Prescott. This ways to get around that. You saw the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? They went and gave Kirk Cousins $100 million, and then they drafted Penix too. That's a whole other situation we'll talk about for another day. But in my opinion, Malik Nabers, man, I told you last week that they compare him to Devontae Adams. And they compare him to Tyreek Hill. That's insane. His speed is insane. He runs every route in the route tree. He can go line up on the outside. He can line up on the slot, take the top off the defense.
Now,
hold on. He is a baller, bro.
No. Now let me ask you this: do you think now? Do you think now it's going to be too much pressure?
No,
for Daniel Jones.
No, I think Daniel. No, I think there's always pressure, and I think that Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he balls out and has a great year. I want to see if he can get the ball downfield. We know he can run a little bit. We know he can dink and dunk. We know he can throw it out to the flats. You know what I'm saying? Middle of the field shit. But to me, his biggest problem was he don't see downfield right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You saw the difference even when DeVito came in. Him and Jalen Hyatt connecting. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think they got to move off Daniel Jones no matter what. Darius Slayton. We just got Isaiah McKenzie, Miles Boykin. Isaiah Hodges is good. Wanda Robinson, dude. Malik Nabers is the guy. End the fucking story.